Welcome back to another episode of The Road to 2200. I am 1947 and my opponent is 1947, the battle of the most evenly matched opponents. Playing my normal QGD here, taking here, I like the exchange variation. I think it sets up for very nice Carlsbad structure where I know it quite well. I actually had an opponent the other day mention that he was surprised how well I knew the Carlsbad. And I just kind of was like, oh yeah, I don't like to let people know that. Yeah, no, I am good with it. Okay, let's go here. And if they play the bishop to e7, I'm immediately taking. And so the theory here is that by taking, yes, we give up the bishop. Not great generally, but it has removed the defender of b4, so we get the minority attack in a little bit faster. And also the knights are quite good in this structure, and also this bishop is terrible here. So they're going to have to move the bishop again, so I get one extra tempo for this, and then another extra tempo when they move back. So it's, you're gaining something essentially for giving up the bishop. You're not giving up the bishop for nothing. And then I think it's probably best to just castle before really going all in with the minority attack. We got the first bit. It's a little bit tempting just to push here. Do I just push there? Or did I play e3? E3 is like the normal move, I feel like. Like, let's say they go here. I would take, and I've already gotten in what I want. Let's do this. Part of the reason I'm doing this is now they cannot advance the knight. And if they try to bring the bishop back to attack this pawn, well, I can just... I mean, first of all, it's already backed up, but I can also back it up. I guess the one worry would be takes, and what if they ignore taking back on c6, and instead they bring the queen out to a5, hitting the knight? I think at that point, I can just play like queen b3 and I should be fine. And then I'll quickly follow up with e3, bishop comes out, and then castling. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. My opponent is like, what is happening? Why is this guy just shoving this lone pawn up the middle? Does he even know how to play chess? Reasonable question. I think I probably go a4. He plays takes. I kind of have what I want. My pawn looks a little weird, but this pawn can't move up. I can contest it. I think this is fine. It does look weird, I admit. And again, I'm continuing to hold this knight back. And if we go takes, rook takes, queen takes, I think I'm fine with my queen over here. I don't think there's any downside to that. That's not true. There's a small downside. The downside being that this bishop can then take up this diagonal, and I won't be able to play e3 and put my bishop on the diagonal and trade it off. But that's, I mean, that's a pretty far down the line kind of deal. Okay, so one thing I could do is just say I'll take on b5, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to push this pawn here. My opponent is probably like, yeah, I'm doing great. I've got these three connected pawns. My opponent's a knucklehead and has given themselves this isolated pawn, but this isolated pawn is really doing quite a bit of work, I think. It's holding off the knight, it's holding off the c pawn. I can actually load up on that half open c file, which is what I will do. Also, their rook is just straight up hanging, so they have to, they pretty much, okay, I guess they don't have to trade, right? They could do that. So do I want to trade? Look at this poor knight. He can't go here now either. The knight can go to b6 and is covering b6. So that's something to think about. I think it is time to castle. I I think we got what we wanted over on the queen side for now. We will come back for more. But I think my next plans are going to be like move the bishop, castles. Probably we'll have to take maybe queen here, if trade, rook here. I have the rook on the file. I'd really rather pile up on the c file. Also, this bishop can't really guard the pawn either. Like, the bishop will have to be something like queen moves for the bishop to come back. So what I may also do is just move over. Just give up that file and say I don't actually want that file. But I think it is important that I castle first. There's too many pieces on the board. I think I've gotten away a little too long without castling. Okay, and that's also fine. They end up with this backwards pawn on the c file instead. So like take. If they try to push, actually they can push, it looks like, right? So if they're like that, can they just push? Because if I take, my knight will be hanging. That was a good question. Maybe they can do this. And then, well, I guess if they take, that's fine. And then, but I guess the question is like, what if they push by? Am I happy with that? I think so. This backwards pawn seems pretty bad. So yeah, I think I can just continue. But I don't think I want to put my bishop here, which is what I originally thought, because then this would come with tempo. So I think we take first, and then I think I just play the bishop here to e7, e2. Actually, I kind of wish I could go this way. Can I? I'm just going to play the more normal, let's just get castled as quick as possible. It seems kind of paramount in this position. Our opponent might be able to start mustering stuff up if I keep messing around. Let me get castled first, then I will talk about options, right? Okay, that's the move I thought they were going to make. I'm not that upset about takes. I take back with the knight. I'm business. If they push by, I'm already on this pawn once, and I can also push this to disrupt it. I think it'll be okay. Also, this bishop gets worse if they push it. Mine isn't great either, but maybe I can go here to attack it. So I'm just going to castle and say I'm not too worried about the pawn. The pawn's blockaded by the knight. This bishop's not great. This bishop's not great. Like I said at the beginning, I feel like in these positions, knights are quite good. And in fact, my worst piece on the board after this push will be my bishop. My one lone remaining bishop becomes my worst piece. I'm pretty tempted to play knight d2, bishop f3, get a second piece attacking this pawn, make them have to defend it. Maybe they'll go like knight b6. Then I can move the queen, have the rooks connected. Like, I feel like I'm very close to having some good stuff happen. Okay, that is what I thought they would do. Okay, what is the order of moves here? Do I move the queen first or the knight first? I think I'm going to move the knight first so they can't pin it. I don't think I want them to be able to go there. So I'll play knight d2. I'm not really giving up control of anything because the square's already controlled. This pawn can't be contested. So I think it's totally fine to reroute this knight. I don't know. I'm not sure where it's going. It might be as simple as at some point I'm pushing e4 and I'm backing it up. But what I'm really doing is freeing up the bishop to be able to go here to attack. Probably going there, here, and just kind of getting all my pieces involved. I don't have like a grand plan yet. It's more put my pieces on decent squares. And while this knight seems good here, I don't know, his prospects seemed very bad. And I don't have a good spot for him yet, but I'll find one. Like this square would be nice to land on somehow. Here, I guess. I don't know how we're going to make that happen, but maybe we will. Another nice square would be there. And I could do that by getting... I could have just done that last turn. I didn't want to go there yet. I mean, it's a good square long term. Same with this. It's being guarded right now. I don't want to jump in there yet, but long term maybe. Ah, no. Yeah, something interesting I could do here is play f4 and then come back knight f3, stick the knight on e5. Something, sort of an interesting idea. I don't think I want to do that either. I think what I really want to do is punish my opponent's pawn structure. And I think the way to do that is just to load up on it, because if the d pawn falls, then the c pawn is going to fall. And like all our pieces are going to be on these pawns. So these two pieces are on this pawn, this piece is on this pawn. I could stick this queen here to go on this pawn, put a rook here. Oh, that's, yeah, okay, that's what we thought was going to happen. And that doesn't look that promising to me. They can't move the knight to a4. It's being guarded 3 times. So it's really just hanging out there doing nothing. And it's loose, right? That's a tactical target. Not now, but in the future. Okay, maybe they're thinking about doing something like this. But I don't think that works that well. I'm just going to go with my plan. And another attacker on one of these pawns. Yeah, they're guarding it 3 times. That's fine. But are they going to really leave all their pieces out here guarding that pawn, and even this knight just like dangling in the ether, hoping no tactics land on its head? That seems dangerous. I think it's going to be here, here, here. And then we're like 2 on one of the pawns, 3 on the other pawn. And things are looking pretty reasonable. Okay, so they can back the pawn up again. They're also backing up a4 again. Not quite sure what the goal is there. I will say I was looking at maybe playing queen c2, but I don't think I like that now. This comes, and I don't think I like that. So I think I'm okay going here. And if this knight lands here, the question is, what then? I don't know. I guess I don't really want that. So what am I doing then? Oh, there's very close to a tactic. Okay. So if they go here, my tactic doesn't work because they could take there. This is the tactic. There's this pin. So can we get rid of that pawn? We can by going here, but they would just take back. The knight moves, we go here, and then they take there. And when the knight moves, if I take here, well, it's likely they're going to take that way, and then the pin is broken. So that is unfortunate. I guess if I go here, and the knight goes here, now we're still in danger. I'm having a hard time figuring out where to put this queen. I really want to move the queen because I really want to do this. What about not rook takes? Whoops. Rook takes, almost certainly. No, I don't really like that. Queen e2, knight a4 is the question. What do we do then? If we take, yeah, I don't like that. I guess the queen can't move very easily. And queen c2, we already saw, is met by f5, bishop f5. I'm trying to decide if there's something I can do about that. I suppose theoretically I could push e-pawn. If they took, and then my d-pawn falls. So I'm really struggling. This feels like an important move. There's a lot of things I could do. Wow, I just really don't want that knight to go to a4, huh? Well, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go here and connect the rooks. And if he goes knight a4, he goes knight a4. And it's kind of annoying because I lose control over the square in front of the knight. But I don't really know what else to do. And there's a chance that they won't even take there. And then there's also the chance that if they go here and I take with the knight, no, never mind. There's no chance they take with the queen. It's going to be here, here, queen. And then I don't really like that position very much. So I don't know. This move, queen e2, I think is going to be a mistake when we look at it with the computer. But I don't have a good answer. Ah. Okay. Now if they go there, that changes things. I think the plan for them is to go bishop b4. And this is what I wanted to do anyway, and it stops that idea of, you know, skewering the two knights. And now, but the problem is now the knight's in trouble, and almost certainly the knight's going to a4 now. Now we've nearly forced it. And if the knight, if I try to ignore it, then I definitely lose. That's a beautiful fork. What if we go here, take this way? If they take here, that's even. And if we take this way and they can't take with the queen. Ah! I want them to take with the queen. Because then I have my little fork trick. Or not fork trick, my knight takes c4 trick. No. Okay. I don't know why they're so against playing knight a4. That move looks so strong. What am I missing? Or are they just not that good? Okay, maybe what I'm missing is they really don't want to pull another defender of d5 away. I think it's not hit that many times. Or also maybe they're seeing my little trick and so they're defending c4. I guess that's possible. Okay, they took there. And I have to take back. Otherwise it's going to be check. Okay, so we're going to go here. Now what? Now knight a4 looks much worse. I mean, it's unplayable now. So I think that was just a big mistake by my opponent. Like, they put their knight on a super weird square and then didn't do anything with it. It was kind of shocking. And in fact, I might go rook a5 next and just put another attacker on d5, force them to put the rook on d8. I guess they wouldn't need to. Well, yeah, no, that actually works quite well because I'm threatening to take the knight. So they'd have to like go queen d8 to be able to keep all the defenders of d5 and attack it. Okay. So that, I guess, is fine. I think now I put my queen back on d1. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. It can come back to d1. It can guard those squares. Okay, wait. It does allow this. Is that an issue? I takes, and then what? I mean, we could just take here now and force him back. Oh, and then this works. Because if they take, I get the pawn. Let's make sure that works. Takes. What if they what if they do something different? What if they just go right to here? Then I think I just move this knight. almost anywhere. Okay, I think this works. It might not, but I feel like it does. I think this tactically works. It's pretty tricky, and this is how I tend to lose games, on tricky moves. Also, maybe it doesn't work because after takes, queen just moves over. And then now it's hitting both knights. And I can't defend the other knight. And the queen could just take. But my queen is defending it. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm not 100% sure it works. I don't know if I would have done this in an over-the-board game. I might have chickened out because it's a little bit loose. But if it works, I do get to maybe even just go here and drop the knight into e5, which looks very nice. I do need to worry a little bit about back row situation. It's not a mate. I have several ways to stop any back row situations, but it's more that it could be very disruptive. And what I mean is, like, even if the queen is gone, this combination of pieces protects the back row. Okay, so this is really putting it to my opponent. What are they going to do? What was I thinking I was going to do if they went there? What I was thinking is if they take, that still hangs. So what I need to do is save this knight. And so let's say they go here. I could play knight here, attacking. And then if they go like here to attack the knight further, well, not further. I don't know. Here, I can do the little crystal structure where the knights are defending each other. That's a line from Jan Markos, Under the Surface. Okay, so they took that way instead, letting me take the piece. That might have been the right way because this pawn, looks reasonable. I can't take it. It is blockaded, but it's not that strongly blockaded. Like, the blockade can get disrupted pretty easily. Probably this bishop is just coming back. Also, I think I'm going to move one of these pawns. I'm trying to decide if it's the G or the H pawn. Probably it's going to be the G pawn. Maybe the H pawn. If I move the G pawn, they could drop their bishop into H3, which looks a little problematic. Okay. I don't really want to move the knight. So if I go queen b2, hitting the bishop, they could move the bishop back to a4. Their king is very barren. I'm wondering if I can do some sort of attack, or if it's just too much and they're going to end up queening. Also, I'm cutting off the bishop's main escape if I do that. Well, let's do a little calculation. So I go here. That's probably not great for me. Oh, I'm also threatening that, which is interesting. I think, though, okay, if I go here and then they go, they can't even put the queen on this. I'm going to go here. This seems reasonable enough. And then I'm probably going to move the bishop back. Oh, I think I might go, no, never mind. I thought I was going to go G2 bishop, or G3 bishop G2, but that doesn't actually address the issue. The problem is if I play h3, that doesn't really address it either, because the bishop can come and cover h2. So suddenly, if you remember at the beginning of this game, I made this claim that, like, in these structures, knights tend to be better, but this is not the structure I was talking about, and the bishops seem awesome. Both of these bishops, like, I think they should be probably not worrying about this pawn, use it as a distraction, and then just come try to mate me with all of this material. That's what I think they should do. I think that's probably where their best bet lies. And it might not be enough. Maybe I just come back and I defend it. I just realized something. If they move here, I get to go here, check, trade off that bishop, and ooh, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Will I be able to defend this pawn well enough? Because if I have to move the knight because it's under attack, let's say to here, they push. I guess I can come back to here. Oh, I don't know. It's going to be hard to defend against that passed pawn, actually. Even if I'm up a pawn with my own passed pawn, it's just not as menacing as theirs, and those two bishops are looking scary. I would love to trade off one of these bishops right now. Love to. So I think my opponent is trying to decide, yeah, if he wants to do that or not. Because I can force the queens off. The real question is, can I actually do more than that? Do I have some tricky move here? Like knight a4. If the queen were to take a4, that would be mate. Now, the queen's obviously not going to take a4, but if they don't take on a4, then I go here and I fork them. But they could just push the pawn and make my life miserable. Okay, so what if I go queen a3? Bishop kind of has to just give up on this plan, doesn't it? Or maybe queen comes over here. And then to move my bishop back. I'm not threatening mate. Kind of like this idea of keeping the mate, or not the mate threat, but the threats I have on the board. Okay, does this work? Bishop here takes, check, does not work. They can block there. That was close. I wish I could play queen a3, but I just don't think I can. D5 is a little interesting. If takes, they don't get mated. Okay, take the queens off. What is this going to look like? Queens come off. They have a bishop here and a bishop here. It's my turn. I move. Where can I even go that is good? Let's say I go knight to here. They push. I go bishop here. I'm covering this. I think that's probably my best plan. I'm just having a hard time figuring out how to do this. Their king is pretty far from this pawn. I'm hoping it will be enough before I automatically take that. Is there something better? I don't think so. I'm going to do this. I have this idea. Can I can't fork these two. Here, here, here is not a good plan. Okay, I'm going to be able to blockade that pawn with the bishop, which is worse, but something. Ooh, and that actually is a fork. So by going here, I'm actually forcing my opponent to go there. And then if I go here, check, here, here. I just made my opponent's pieces better. Probably. Yeah, why was I thinking they were going to push right away? They could just go here. There, there, there. Okay, I'm going to do this. We'll see what happens. If they mess up and push, then I just don't win, actually. That might have even been worse. I didn't realize, because then the bishop can't cover. That might have just been a losing move on my part that I got away with. Okay, so now... Ooh, what if they put their bishop there, though? Am I lost? Here, here, here. Move the bishop. Oh, man. This is not looking good. King here, king here. King doesn't get back. Oh, this was a bad square for the knight. That was a very bad move. Oh my goodness. Okay. That was a bad move. If they go here with the bishop, I'm in really big trouble. I might be lost. If they don't, I feel like I get to go here, here, come on over, and hopefully I'm okay. But the two bishops are... Like, my opponent is clearly better here. I'm up a pawn, and it's a pass pawn, but I just think my opponent is better. Okay, I go here. We'll see what happens. I can go here, which is good. So, like, if my opponent goes here to try to, like, come around, I can just jump in. I can also start bringing the king over. And then I lose. That's interesting. Yeah, the king is going to be a little bit hard to get over here. And the nice thing, though, I'm holding their king out reasonably well. All of these squares are being blocked off for their king currently. Unfortunately, the king can come all the way around like this. Okay, well, what are we going to do here? I think my opponent has... I think we both made some very serious mistakes in this ending. Okay, that is intriguing. I mean, anytime I want, I can take this pawn now. So that's a weird move, I think. I think I'm gonna go here. I didn't want to put it in front and get pinned. I guess maybe going over here would have been fine, but then my knight is so out of play. I feel like I want my knight, worst case, sacking to take the pawn back. Like if I get this pawn, okay. I wasn't expecting that. That's a good idea. I'm just going to come back and blockade. And we'll just go that route. Probably something like this is coming. They have kind of a problem with this. That bishop now needs to babysit over there, which I don't think is what they wanted to do. Yeah, I think we're going to kind of raise our kings in here. Here, 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 here. Or do I want to go here, here? Doesn't really keep their king out of more spots. I don't really like my knight here. Oh, what if I went like... Yeah, then that pawn would end up falling. Okay, we have to get the king involved, so that's job one. I don't... Okay, this is fine. Because if they go here, we can still get out of the pin and then move the knight. I don't think I have a way to keep the knight, I mean their king, from coming to the square. But if I go here, even here, I'm covering a lot of squares. So I'm going to move the king again. Maybe I should have moved the king up to here and here. I think I should have. Darn. Yeah. And now that is not going to work. I'm going to go here and here. I lost a critical tempo. That could be game, actually. So I'm going to go here. I'm holding the king out. I'm going to bring my king up to here. Oh, this doesn't work. Okay. None of this really works. They can't get their king in either. Actually, they can. Boom, 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 boom. If they do that, I pretty much lose. So maybe I go here so that they can't come all the way through. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm definitely nervous. But again, this bishop is tied to this pawn. Like, if I get both of these pawns, boy, they're in really big trouble. Ooh, also, like, if this pawn pushes, I guess I can't go here. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening. That's the bottom line. Okay, so they save that pawn. I'm letting them just come on down, which maybe is a mistake. Oh, I have some interesting ideas of like here and here. Okay, let's try this. I don't know about this, but I'm gonna try it. Now to come in really has to make the long way around. If they do that, maybe I can go. Let's, if I go here, check here, pushes, that doesn't work. But if they take, okay, I think I can go here. If they go here, I can't go here. Shoot. Okay. Ugh, problems keep on coming up. And we're in a massive time scramble on top of everything else. At least we're getting 10 seconds back. Yeah, I'm not, I think after king there, I have to bring my knight back to c1. And then I can check, yeah, I can check this way to drive him away. And then go like here, here. Okay. Yep, it's a good move. I think I have to go here. And now what? Oh, this would be kind of tricky. Oh no, if they go here, they lose. I just go here, check, bam. Yeah, I won't be stunned if they push this pawn. Just to get off of this, to feel like they don't have to guard it. And then I'm going to go here. Ooh, I think that loses. Yeah, that loses. Nice. Okay, check, skewer. Boom, ball game. That was a tense one. I mean, it's still not over, because they do have this passer, but I don't think they're getting the passer through now. I just take, and if they threaten the knight, I just come back and defend it. And then I'm going here, and then the game is over. And they can't even bring the king back in. They have to try to bring the king around. Like, this is a big mess. Because I'm going here next, and then I'm going here, and then my opponent can resign. Or they can resign now. All right, there you go. Tactics, even in the end game. Always tactics. Always tactics. All right. That's the first takeaway. Always tactics. You always have to be on the tactical game. And a couple tactics in that game. So the game's looking pretty simple. Most people, by the way, don't play their bishop here. That's a very unusual placement in this particular line. I went here, and let's see if the engine likes my idea of taking here. It does not. It doesn't hate it, but it says you've given away all your advantage. What are you even doing? Okay, I started my minority. Engine hates this move, utterly despises it, and says, why can't they just play c5 now? But I don't know. This seems like exactly what I wanted. All right, well, they went there. The computer, okay, the computer doesn't like taking. Now it says it's about equal. And now we're just playing an equal game, which is fine. That's kind of what I go for with this, just playing an equal game. Okay, and this is the computer's #1 move, and rightfully so, right? Like, it was annoying. And so now we're just maneuvering for several moves. Okay. Just maneuvering, pretty much equal. And the computer likes this line. The computer says, yes, this gives you a very minute advantage. If you're going to have an advantage, it's going to be through this path. Man, this is a clean game. Okay, so the computer doesn't love this, right? Like, it's going to be hard to win from here, right? It's pretty clear. I'm probably even losing, and in fact, I'm lost after this, and we saw why. We'll look at that in a second. Well, the computer likes, you know, just trying other things, like even going here. I hate that move. I don't understand, but okay. I decided to simplify. I thought I saw a path, and this is not it, because we saw that after that, it seems like they can just push, because now the bishop can't get back. And so that was a huge blunder, right? I would have had to take. So yeah, I made a huge blunder. My opponent missed it. It's very generous of them. I go here, and there it says the engine says they're still winning because they can go here and then here. And they missed that as well. They just pushed the pawn into the mess, and now their advantage is gone. And we basically have an even game where I have the slightest of leads. If anyone's going to win, it's going to be me. But I don't know. I mean, clearly we can see they have lots of chances with this passer. Okay. And then this is game. So it's basically a very clean, even, nothing happening game. I find a tactic to win a pawn here. And then they miss a huge tactic. I guess it's not tactic. It's understanding that your advantage is in the C pawn and that the only way I can stop it is here. I knew that too. And that was my plan. My plan was to put the bishop here. And then after I did this, because remember I was like, ooh, yeah, they have to like move this bishop, giving me time. I hit it again. Though then they go here and it doesn't look that great for me anyway. It was a ridiculous move. And they missed it. And so then we went into this, and everything was fine, and then they missed it. So this game feels to me like a game that can be described as just they missed it. Right? They missed my tactic, they missed my error, and then they missed another problem. The engine says that I played at 91% and my opponent played at 81%. We both played very well, other than the times when we didn't, right? Which I think more and more defines my chess. Like, I feel like my chess understanding is getting better, and there are times when I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm in 2000 now, and then I miss a mistake like that, and over the board they catch it and you lose. So it was an interesting game. I think we both played a clean game. I don't have a lot of takeaways other than tactics, right? It's just there's just so much tactics and just basic spotting of threats. Like this was a pretty basic one, right? It was like, if you put these two pieces on the same diagonal and they have that piece, you have to check this before you do it, right? That's an unfortunate diagonal. Check out my chessable course for unfortunate diagonals. So we won that one. Looks like we're going to be up to like 1956, and I'll see you next time on the road to 2200.